Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy SonTj. How's it going, man? Today we're here to talk about the top 10 best MCU fights. Now, the way I rank this is that there's a lot of fights in the MCU. Like, when I made this list, I thought it was gonna be kind of simple. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna look through a couple of Netflix stuff or whatever. It's a lot of fights, okay? So know that this is my personal opinion. Just because the title says the best, this is my best, okay? And the fights are usually just one-on-one. Like, there's a lot of fights where there's like Avengers versus a giant army, or you know, all bunch of gigantic fights. But my list is composed of 1v1s. Maybe like, you know, a random character comes along, but you kind of know what the main attraction really is. So hope you guys enjoy the video. But before that, Metro, play my intro.
The beat go off.
Feel like I'm Goku.
Okay, so number 10 is Thor versus Surtur. This is the beginning fight of Thor Ragnarok. I feel like it's very underrated. Like, this is the best Mjolnir has ever been used. Yes, Captain America is not better at using Mjolnir than Thor. I don't know about, you know, female Thor that's coming later on down the road. That can change, but this was just an amazing fight that I feel like a lot of people don't really care about because, you know, it had like the little music playing. It was really a goofy, like, you know, entertainment there, but Thor never looked that good in a long time. Like, granted, he had other fights, like, you know, when he used Stormbreaker, it looked pretty cool, but those fights are too short. That's the reason why I don't have like Thor versus Hulk or Thor versus well, Thor vs. Hulk was pretty long, but it's not as good as this, in my opinion. And Thor versus Thanos, because those are just really quick. This showed Thor, it is the most impressive way of looking, just like with the hammer and everything. He just looks so powerful and just so out the comic books. Like, this is the most comic book like Thor we're ever gonna get for a long time. He looked badass with Stormbreaker, but if you want like comic book Thor doing his thing, this is this fight. And Surtur, you know, he got his ass whooped. Next up is Captain America versus Winter Soldier round 1. Round 2 is really good, but round 1 was pretty epic in my opinion. The hand-to-hand combat was on point. Like, Captain America was doing his thing. The music, the choreography was just great. Like, he was just trying to move his shield, and just Winter Soldier just about to, like, you know, just getting that knife in. He was so close in so many different moments, but like, I just really loved how they incorporated the shield and made it look, you know, like it was useful. Winter Soldier was just in his most like menacing in this movie. Just a great fight. This is right after he beats up Black Widow or gets the, you know, get the upper advantage on her, and it just ends with like Captain America doing like a combo, then like throwing his mask off. And like, the only reason it's not higher is because the finish off is not as great as the fights above it. Daredevil versus Nobu round 1, and this is Daredevil before he got, you know, his Daredevil outfit. This is still in his, like, you know, black outfit, and I really forgot how great season 1 of Daredevil is, especially the fights. The fights are even better than some of the movies action sequences, I'm not gonna lie to you, and this one is one of them. Daredevil has so many great fights, but I feel like this one's the biggest one. Nobu was just a threat, bro. Like, just a serious threat. The way he was using that little weapon, and Daredevil tried his best to flip and get in the fight. It was a great fight, man. I haven't seen every Netflix fight. Luke Cage is an honorable mention with his Bushmaster. I haven't seen Defenders. There's other fights I haven't seen, but I've seen every season of Daredevil, and this one's one, like, you know, the top tier fights. Also, Bullseye was a big up there, but this one peaks all of them. Just the amount of danger Nobu threatened, and the way Daredevil came through and finally beat him. And even though Daredevil like lit him on fire, Nobu was still trying to get the work. Like, great fight, great finish off. Choreography is even better than a lot of movie fights. Fantastic. Hulk versus Iron Man in Avengers Age of Ultron. This is the introduction of the Hulkbuster, and the Hulkbuster was just great to see. Robert Downey Jr.'s like jokes in between this really made the fight like even better than it was before. Just seeing Iron Man's tricks and just seeing how the Hulk is just overpowering most of them, and it took Iron Man putting him into a building, and even then he really couldn't beat the Hulk because Hulk had to calm down. Then Iron Man kind of gave him like a sneak shot and knocked him out. It was just a great fight overall, especially when it came out the first time, because we all wanted the Hulkbuster. We all wanted to see when that happened. And when it finally happened, it did disappoint. And seeing Iron Man like in his Iron Man suit and getting different stuff to come in, great fight, man. Just like overall, I know it's a CGI fight. You know, a lot of people, especially fighting purists, don't really like CGI battles. But hey, it's the MCU. I love this crap, and it deserves this spot. Hulk versus the Abomination. I feel like Hulk 2008 or the Incredible Hulk 2008 is very underrated. It's a great film in my opinion. And this fight is an epic clash. I know it's CGI. The CGI is still pretty good, but it's not as good as like, you know, the modern movies right now. But it had every unique Hulk ability in here. It had like the thunderclap. It had Hulk smash. Abomination, and also the creativity of this fight was so good. Like Hulk actually getting in there, using a car as like boxing gloves. Like that's like one of the most creative things the MCU has done with these CGI characters. And the Abomination was just such a big threat, man. You could tell it took everything the Hulk had to win this. And the payoff there where Hulk kind of goes in Godzilla, like he chokes him out, and it took Betty to calm him down, which you need to bring Betty back in the MCU. And he chokes him out, and then he's just like, okay, I'll calm down. Psych! And he just stomps on him and just yells on the top of his lungs. Like, there's a lot of great fights in Hulk, the Incredible Hulk. Honestly, you need to check that film out. If you feel like it was one of the worst MCU films, I'd say just give it another shot. I know Edward Norton is like, you know, not the main Hulk like Mark Ruffalo, but again, I really like the film. It has a lot of great fights. This definitely is a great fight and a great payoff in the entire film. Spider-Man versus Mysterio, either round 1 or round 2. Round 1 has the better, you know, illusions, but round 2 has the better action. And round 2, the way he was beating up those drones and just him, the shout outs to like Captain America with the Thor and Mjolnir, and he was able to beat all those drones. Then he has to finish Mysterio off where he has to use his spider sense. Just a great fight, you know what I mean? I don't know if it's like one of the better, like, you know, Spider-Man fights throughout all the Spider-Man films, but it's really up there in my opinion, especially when he finally beats Mysterio, where Mysterio tries to trick him. He dodges the bullet, or no, he catches the gun. It's a great action sequence. I love the illusions of Mysterio. Like, that first round where he's using those illusions is one of the best scenes in MCU history. It's fantastic. I love how he switches throughout the MCU suit. So it's a tie between round 1 and round 2 for me. But yeah, love this fight, love this sequence, and please bring Mysterio back. Iron Man versus Captain America, with a little bit of Winter Soldier, but Winter Soldier just kind of came in for the double team. But yeah, Civil War is one of my favorite MCU movies of all time. And this one was no joke, because Civil War, actually the comic, is one of my favorite comic books of all time. And just some things were just straight out the panel, man. Especially when Iron Man blasts him and Captain America uses the shield, straight out the panel. I just love how, like, because Winter Soldier, he was in there for a little bit, you know, jumping Iron Man. And you know, if Iron Man was at full strength, he would have completely, like, you know, dominated the fight. But I just love how they was on equal ground. And like once like Captain America, like, you know, started getting the upper hand, Iron Man adjusts, like, okay, reads his fighting a little bit, caught him and starts beating him up. Then, you know, of course, Captain America says, I can do this all day. Just a great fight for like the two main characters of the MCU so far. You've grown with both of them, you love them both, and it just hurts to see them fight. And like I say, it was a great fight. Doctor Strange versus Thanos is one of the most underrated, and honestly, a lot of feels in Infinity War and Endgame. The fights are short, but they're impactful, and this is one of them. Doctor Strange is one of the most powerful superheroes in the comic books and in the MCU, and he handled his job, man. He did better than a lot of characters in this film, and he's one of the strongest, period. And just the fact that, like, Thanos is using these Power Stone, like, all these, like, hacks abilities, and, you know, he's forcing Thanos to use it because he's chopping in the mirror dimension. He's, like, using his techniques to make things into butterflies. He's using his, like, multi-arm techniques, like, just like great abilities of just showing like different hacks, and just seeing the most powerful characters in the MCU go at each other is a fantastic fight. Now, 1 and 2 can flip-flop for me. It just really depends on the day. They're not the longest fights, but you know, they're really up there. And for right now, number 2 is Captain America versus Thanos. The 15-piece combination that Captain America does to Thanos is the best beatdown in MCU history. The amount of hype of Captain America lifting Mjolnir and just so like, yeah, it just starts beating him down. And the fact that it calls out to Age of Ultron, to the first Avengers, where he's throwing Mjolnir, bringing it back with the shield. The shield is making a shockwave. He's just beating them down and using the lightning. Yeah, it's the hypest thing. But there's a few things holding it back from being the #1 fight in MCU history, because one, the finish off is like, you know, a little bit like, okay, Thanos gets mad, takes off the helmet, it pretty much stabs him in the leg and knocks Mjolnir out of his hand, and that's pretty much the end of the fight, you know, and everyone else comes in. But that's the only thing holding it back. Everything else is the hypest crap, man. It's like the best moment in game, but there's one fight I think.
Drop kick.
And for me, #1 is Iron Man versus Thanos Infinity War. It's just something I didn't expect, because a lot of people have their different theories of why Thanos struggled against Iron Man, but pretty much I think it just in the MCU, Iron Man is just stronger than Thor Ragnarok, Thor, and Hulk at that moment. And like, it just, the fact that he was able to hold his own and be the first one to actually like have like Thanos bleed, it just shows you how much work Iron Man has got to this point from Iron Man 1 till now. He has trained himself to be prepared for this moment. And the fact that he did everything he possibly could to save the day and still fail was incredible. It's just the fact that how powerful Iron Man has become. Like, and really, I don't mind him being this powerful in the MCU. I really don't. And the fact that he just gave it his all. When he was getting beat down, he still, even though you knew it was just over, man, why are you still trying? He still tries to stab him because he know like he's the last man standing, and he gets stabbed. I thought he was gonna die. Like, it was just that serious. It just, the speeches of just saying like, yo, you've been haunting, like you've been in my nightmares. Like, and Thanos like saying like, you know, I hope they remember you. Just a fantastic like build up to this fight over like a decade long. And just the finish off was sobering but poetic, and I really enjoyed that. So that's why I think this has a slight edge over Captain America versus Thanos. I think Captain America gave a better beat down to Thanos, but either way, like, no matter if you think Iron Man's stronger than Captain America or blah blah blah, I think Iron Man versus Thanos was way more poetic, and you can just tell by like the true battle of the human spirit, and just even though he lost, like, he still won his respect, and that's something that I think is amazing. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. What is your top 10 MCU fights? Let's just keep it one-on-one. It could be the Netflix series, it could be the TV shows, it could be the movies. This is my top 10. More videos gonna be coming soon. Hope you guys enjoyed the content. I should be pre-recording a lot of stuff, so yeah. SonTj, peace. Love you all.